It is the Riot Podcast. Happy Friday. Happy weekend.
Yes,
happy February
finally.
25th.
And guys, we're almost done with February. We're into March now.
Is that good? Or
Well,
I guess February is kind of a crappy month.
We're into March next week. But.
Yeah. But I mean, it's practically March, right? So,
I'm excited. I can't wait till March hits. And I didn't realize that February is like a shortened month until yesterday. Like, there's only 28 days in February, which is like super short. And so I've been a little bit behind on my prepping. As you guys know, Jim's birthday is March 1st.
Oh, so it's Tuesday.
Why would I know that?
You guys, I've talked about it multiple times that his birthday, it's his first birthday ever.
Do you want me to send a birthday card around for him, or what are we going to do?
I should send out an email probably to RadioU, Jim's birthday.
If it's his first birthday and it's on March 1st, that means it's also his golden birthday. You ever heard of that?
Oh, you're right.
Golden
So this is a double big one. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta. This is the biggest birthday celebration you ever have to do for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw a party for him for sure.
Yeah, afterwards you can forget, but not on
the
Tuesday.
golden birthday.
Yeah, so have all his friends over and whatnot. It's gonna be a big day for him.
I saw, everything's on TikTok. Like, it's just stupid. Every time I say I saw something, why don't you guys just know it's from there?
Yeah, right.
But someone threw a dog birthday party, and they put on the wall, they put a bunch of different waters for the dogs to drink out of.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all different bottled waters. So, like, it was like if you go to a Coke Freestyle and stuff, it was kind of like that, but it was different bottled waters.
Which one
they liked.
Which one did he pick?
The dogs could just all drink out of them, and they never showed what was the favorite out of it, but it was really cute.
But Dasani was the one that was left behind, probably.
Yeah, nobody was drinking the Dasani. They didn't even buy that one.
They didn't even have that at the party.
Yeah, it couldn't even have been an option. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about some of our pets today as we talked about a company that is giving you $6,000 to just pretty much examine your dog's poop.
If you are chosen.
Yes.
And they will then pay you money for 2 months of work, kind of reviewing your dog's health if you start giving them the dog food from this company.
So don't just start examining your dog's poop
without being signed up.
Yeah, right. Just in assuming that they're going to pay you eventually.
Sure.
Yeah, we also talked about the Daytona 500 driver who ended up winning it and how he decided to celebrate, which was a pretty odd way. Now, it got me thinking, like, if I were to win the Daytona 500 and go to, like, a fast food restaurant, like, where would I want to celebrate it at?
Well, which one would you?
See, that's what I was trying to think. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen Steak and Shake.
Well, you got to pick one that's open late, or they're going to close by the time you're starting to have fun.
So really, your only realistic options are places that are open 24 hours. So what are we talking here? White Castle, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Steak and Shake?
Waffle House.
That's where I'd be. I'd be at Waffle House.
That'd be a great way to party.
That's where I'd be.
Yeah,
Waffle
because you know everybody else coming in there, too. They'd be there to party also.
They're ready to roll.
Yeah.
They're right there with you.
They came from the Daytona.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
That's where they've been all night. So that's where I would probably go. But Steak and Shake, it wouldn't be.
He was saying, and we didn't cover this in the story, but he was saying that he used to go to Steak and Shake after Little League, and so like that was just his favorite thing to go to when he was younger, when they would be done with a game. And so with him being done with the Daytona 500, that's where he went.
Steak and Shake, I don't think it's the worst choice. They do have milkshakes, which is more than we can say for some of the other places.
We're just mad because at least for us, the one near our RadioU studios, dude, it would be like 20-30 minutes before they talked to you if you went through the drive-thru.
Oh, yeah.
Steak and Shake.
It's been awful.
I think the food is all right if you can get it, but you have to actually be able to get it. Yeah, right.
And that's not COVID. They were like that way before COVID.
Well, they're in a bad situation as a company. So, hey, enjoy your Steak and Shake while you can. It might not be around forever.
No, that's the one that said they're going to do like the robot stuff instead of having people inside.
Yeah.
Oh, they so would.
Yeah.
If I wasn't mad enough when I came through the drive-thru and it was a human that was making me upset, now when it's a robot saying, just 1 second, that's going to make me even more mad.
Now
would you like to try our Frisco milk?
Yeah.
Hang on one moment. So, yeah, that's where I thought they were moving towards.
And we buried the lead because we talked to Outsider Heart today, and we haven't even mentioned it.
Yeah, we talked to Outsider Heart as well.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
That was, what else needs to be said, right?
They did bring in their new song, Monster, which you can't hear on the podcast. But if you want to, when you're done with the podcast, check out RadioU or The Riot on RadioU. And you're like, oh, there's music. You had no idea.
Yeah.
If you go to RadioU.com, you can hear their new song, Monster. If you just click on RadioU, you'll hear that come up.
And last thing, Nikki is going to be out on Monday. Warning for everyone.
Ready for your bro show?
Yeah.
There you
Did
go.
you hear we're calling it that? The bro show?
Is that what we're calling it? If you don't want to hear that now, we're letting you know ahead that you just don't have to tune in to the podcast on Monday.
It's to some the bro show, to the others it's the no show.
Some their favorite show. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? There's a little bit for everybody out there.
It is going to be odd for us to do a show together where we don't actually have real football to talk about.
I know.
yeah.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Well, help throw some stories that you think might not be something they would look at first, but maybe would be good for them to cover on Monday if you just email riot@radiou.com.
You want to send us stories about
text us well to
cats,
877 to Radio U.
flowers, fashion. It's just things that we would.
Yeah, it's starting already.
What do you mean?
It's starting already.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Would we talk about those kinds of things?
We don't.
Normally.
We don't talk about those things.
Hey, why don't you talk about fast fashion?
There we go.
Okay.
So what is that? Forever 21?
I say that it's
Hey, I love Forever 21, all right?
Yeah, right.
This is what's going to happen on Monday. We're going to come in, and it's going to be the show where Hudson gets to critique Isaiah the whole time, tell me he dresses like a child. It's one of those shows.
Stop spoiling it, okay?
I can't wait to tell on you on Tuesday. It's going to be like so much fun.
We'll see how it goes on Monday, but everybody have a wonderful weekend, and thanks again to Outsider Heart for joining us.
We'll catch you next
See you
time.
guys.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. Radio U.
If you are embroiled in the world of MMA, you might know the name Adam Piccolati. I don't know, but if not, it may be unfamiliar to you, but he has now become a controversial figure.
This one's interesting.
In the fighting world. He has been suspended for 6 months.
He won on Saturday a fight.
Uh-huh.
And I think that is the 13-4. Is that his record right now?
That sounds like it.
But he did win on Saturday, but there was controversy surrounding how he got to the match to win in the first place.
Yeah, so he posted some videos on his Instagram of how he was cutting weight for the fight, which is, that's a normal practice in boxing, MMA, anything where you need to weigh in right before the fight.
So in order to be at a certain weight for the fight, people will just do crazy things to lose weight.
Yeah.
Usually including like those sweatsuits and saunas. You're basically dropping water weight.
Yep.
So it's very dangerous and very unhealthy.
Yeah, because you're doing it so quickly.
Because you do it so quickly.
Yeah.
And then they weigh in and literally go and bulk and like rehydrate back up.
Exactly.
So it's very dangerous for your body.
So it is not. It's not a good idea. But
I never thought of people doing this.
You didn't?
I never thought of this.
I didn't know about the vomiting part of it.
Yeah, I knew they cut weight by like the water weight.
Yeah, the sweating and whatnot.
I didn't think vomiting would lose enough weight.
Yeah, I guess it all adds up. Any little bit counts if you really need to hit that weight number. So he posted some videos of him like it's the extra mile of what you expect from anybody cutting weight, and he's vomiting and doing it's just nasty stuff. He's like, have you seen the video? It's like him going to the bathroom and vomiting at the same time.
Yes, and then they go put him in the sauna.
Yeah,
all around the same time. And the problem is the Department of Athletic stuff and the gaming stuff with it said, hey, you cannot post these. This is dangerous. This is not how you want to cut weight, even though the whole the whole thing of cutting weight is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny they would say that, but now he's in trouble for posting videos of cutting weight this way.
Yeah, I think there's, I would guess, there's some kind of level of a safe way to cut weight, safer. And then there's the really unsafe way to cut weight. And that is what Adam Piccolati was doing. So he has been suspended for 6 months, medically suspended, they say, not able to fight. Although, again, I'm not the biggest MMA guy, but I don't know how often
many
you
fights
fight
he would have had
you're going to
anyways.
do in a 6 month period. Probably
I thought
not
that
a
too.
lot.
So they say he did 20 plus times of throwing up to cut weight, along with the normal sauna, like stop drinking water, all that dangerous stuff. They say that they're concerned about his kidneys, so something has to be done about the unnecessarily dangerous weight cuts that fighters do.
Yeah, his mistake though was posting it on Instagram. He probably would have gotten away with it otherwise.
If he did not post, yeah. And they said that is very difficult because you have so many fans that are following you, and you don't want to show that that's how these fighters are reaching these weights.
Yeah. Well,
so that's why they got involved.
I think what he's done, it's helped me, and it's helped a lot of people realize that we don't want to get into a career of MMA.
No, we don't.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast Radio U.
Good morning, Isaiah.
Good morning.
Did you have any trouble getting in today?
I did have a bit of trouble.
Funny I should ask.
I know, oddly enough. I did have some trouble.
Yeah.
Well, I came in this morning when Hudson's sitting in here before I got here, and I'm like, did you see me out there, like, making a fool of myself?
What were you doing?
So I went
Fortunately, I don't just sit here and watch the security cameras most of the time.
I know. I
actually
assume
working.
I assume you do every morning when I pull in. But I pull in, I get up in my car and park, and for whatever reason this morning, it wouldn't go.
Into park?
Into park, it just wouldn't park. And so then I'm like, what do I do? My car's in park. So what do you do when you have a question like this? None other than you call your father. At like early in the morning. But thankfully, he wakes up real early, so he was already up and at it.
That's when he lies. He just wakes up early to make sure you are okay every morning.
He knows every now and then I'm going to have a question for him. And so I'm like, I call him, and I feel so dumb. I'm like, I can't, like, put my car in park. And he's like, what do you mean you can't put your car in park? I'm like, it won't go in park. The car's kind of off now because I turned it halfway off. It's not working. And so then...
It's an accessory.
It's literally, I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. And if I tried it first, as I always do, I give it a good attempt, like, okay, can I figure this out?
Yeah.
That lasted 15 seconds.
You didn't Google it?
I can't figure it out. And I knew, I was like, I need to get into work because we have stuff to do in the morning. I knew it was going to be quicker for me to just call him because he just always has the answer.
Isaiah, it is always quicker if you just get someone else to do it.
I know, right? And so I call him, and he's like, put your car in neutral, start your car. I'm like, okay, put my car in neutral.
Yeah.
Start my car again. And he's like, put it in park now. I'm like, I can't still. He's like, all right. He goes, are you in 4-wheel drive? I'm like, why would I be in 4-wheel drive? I look down, I'm like, well, I'm in auto. I'm like, it could be in 4-wheel drive. He's like, put it in 2-wheel drive. Put it in 2-wheel drive. He's like, reverse. Drive, park it. And I park it and take the keys out. I'm like, you're a genius. You're so smart. I don't know how you do it. How do you know those things? Like, why would that, like, if someone called me, I told Hudson this morning. So if someone called me and was like, hey, I can't put my car in park, I'd be like, start it, turn it off. I don't know. I would never be like, is it in 4-wheel drive?
Guess you got to keep driving.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You have to find a flat piece of land to park so that your car's not go anywhere. I would have just put the emergency parking brake on.
Ooh, that's a good idea, too.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
But
that.
it still wouldn't let it take his key
I couldn't
out.
take my keys out. That was the other thing that was scaring me.
Either way, even if your keys are out now, you should still put it in the emergency park thing so that way it doesn't just
start rolling.
have a
get a mind of
You know
its
who
own.
parks in front of me? Nikki. I'll just roll right in the back of her car. Oh, that's what's going to happen. We're going to look out the security cameras, and we're just going to see my car rolling right into the back of Nikki's.
You know, I parked somewhere else the other day, and I was like, today it was a little slippery. I wanted to make sure I didn't fall on the way. And I was like, I'll just park in the front like the normal spot, and this is the day I choose to do that.
Yeah,
Right in front of my truck,
Well,
baby.
is anybody familiar with trucks and if it doesn't go into park? And we'll just start Googling it too, but I feel like you
Isaiah's
need to
dad
keep working on it.
I know.
He's got it locked down.
I know that whenever the day is that my father is no longer here, I'm going to be totally, I have no chance. Like, what am I going to do? Whenever I have an issue, I just call him and he's like, try this. And it always works.
Well,
I know my kids, if they call me, I'll be like, I don't know, man. Call somebody else.
Call your grandpa.
Call your grandpa. call Grandpa Jacob. See what he's doing. He'll tell you the answer.
We'll know because you'll just be driving around and you won't stop.
Yes, exactly. You'll know my kids are the ones that are helpless. Those are mine.
Thanks to Isaiah's dad for helping him out so he could park and come into work today.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. Radio U.
You might remember from, was it last week? We talked about a bear that we were calling Yogi because that's what the stories that we were seeing were told. Mm-hmm. And then over the past week, we've been seeing a lot more stories about the same bear, although evidently they've started calling him Hank the Tank instead.
Either someone in the beginning made a mistake. It wasn't like I remember seeing Yogi all over the stuff. Or there's two really overweight bears.
Yeah, they look exactly. They're twins.
And they're like, oh, wait, I'm sorry, that's not Yogi. And they got it wrong. And now we know it's Hank the Tank. Hank, another bear there.
Right. I just think, you know what? I chalk it up to all the fake news media. First, they get the name of the bear wrong. Now, it turns out the bear has been unfairly maligned and demonized entirely.
He gets sued.
That whatever his name might be, he's not causing all the issues that he's been accused of.
Actually, well, Hank is. There's lots of video of him, but it's in the Lake Tahoe area. So if you heard the Yogi story, it's Hank the bear.
Well, you know how it is, Nick. You get a video, a couple videos of one bear doing something, and then you start blaming the bear for everything.
Actually, I watched a TikTok, and it was him walking across like this frozen waterway, and people were just outside being like, "There's this giant bear," and they're like, "Hey, that's Hank."
That's Hank.
He's famous.
It would be fun to see in a way for you, it'd definitely be fun. Even for me, I'd like to see him as long as he doesn't break into my house and wreck up the place.
You see him in person.
But Hank the Tank is accused of breaking into dozens of homes in the Lake Tahoe area. However, it turns out now, according to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, after they've collected DNA evidence from the scene of one of his recent supposed
Break-ins?
crimes, they tested it. Turns out it's not Hank the Tank at all that was doing it this time. Well, they found in this case that it was a female bear, and they're like, we know Hank the Tank is a male bear.
Sure.
So what's going on here? They start doing a few more DNA samples and tests. It turns out that there's actually been several bears over now for these crimes that Hank the Tank the bear is accused of over the past 7 months. Several of them can be chalked up to several different bears, not just him.
Oh, look at that. Hank's contacting his lawyer.
Yeah, right. I think Hank, he definitely deserves some compensation. He's,
they were
what is this, libel? Is it?
No, it's more than that because they were trying to kill him. There was some group that wanted him to be put down because of him breaking into homes where like people were actually at and not being scared of humans anymore. And then there was this other Save the Bear group that's like, no, let's move him somewhere else. We got to get him out of there.
Now, wait a minute. Think about this.
Are they planting DNA?
This is all a false flag operation by the Save the Bear group, and they're planting bear DNA from other bears to try to exonerate Hank to make sure he doesn't get killed.
Well, that'd be impressive.
Yeah.
Because
how deep does this conspiracy and cover-up go?
They actually say, though, that there's 3 other bears in the area, 2 males, 1 female, that are probably responsible for the damaging of the more than 30 properties.
Now, how can they say this? They've concluded that Hank may not be responsible for any of the break-ins over the last 7 months. They have him on video. He's done some of them, right?
Well, sometimes bears, when recording and in the moment, shaky cameras and stuff.
It's a little fuzzy.
It's a little hard to pinpoint which bear it actually is.
Yeah, there's a lot of fur bouncing around. It could be anybody.
It's like, it's a bear. You just don't know which one.
It could be Bigfoot, for all we know.
No, I think that does look different.
If we ever catch up with Bigfoot, he could probably sue a lot of people, too.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Pink, I guess she has a daughter. She's 10 years old. And the headline is that she won't allow her 10-year-old to have a phone. And so I want to know, when did you guys get your first phone?
How young were we?
Yeah.
Isaiah, do you have a phone yet?
I do have a phone now, yes. Recently got a phone. I was not 10 years old when I got my first phone. I wouldn't even... There were phones when I was 10. None of my friends had a phone at that point. You
needed to play up the emergency thing, like to get your mom to get you one.
You did.
At 10 years old.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know, Mom.
What could happen to me? She's like, what would happen to you? I'm always with you.
You could get hit with a baseball or something.
So I got my first phone when I was always told I was the last one in my friend group to get a phone. Everyone got one before me. I was always told once you get your driver's license, like you can have a phone because then you'll actually need it, right?
Yeah.
And then I got my driver's license and I still didn't get a phone, which was really upsetting.
Yeah.
At that point, I was just mad.
Now they're lying to you.
Yeah, I got my driver's license on my birthday. I turned 16. I was like, all right, this is the birthday. Driver's license, phone. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Driver's license came. The phone never did. And and I actually drove for like 6 months, and then Christmas rolled around.
Oh, and then you got
And then I got one
Wow.
for Christmas, but I was driving without a phone for a while.
It's amazing that nothing happened in those 6 months.
I know. I told
no
him every day.
emergencies.
I was like, you know what happens if I get a flat or something? What am I going to do?
You should have just done that.
I know, I should have. And then I would have got one instantly.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, when you miss the entire day of school because you're stranded on the side of the road, then all of a sudden you get a phone. But yeah, so I got one
I
after
was
Christmas.
freezing on the side of the road,
Yeah.
Ma, for hours, nothing to do.
You could have killed your baby there.
Yeah.
I could have been hurt.
But I also was never, I always said I needed one because of an emergency, but there was never a time when I actually needed it or couldn't just be like, can I use like one of my friends' phones?
Sure.
I was never alone where it actually impacted me in any
Yeah,
way.
but
I always said
Don't
I needed
say
it.
that, though, because then that hurts other people's argument of
argument.
trying to
I
get
know.
more
If
phones.
everybody said that, then nobody would have a friend with a phone when they were children.
Exactly.
And they wouldn't be allowed to. And then an emergency would happen. And who knows what would go down.
Oh, it's scary.
I don't know how old I was. I was probably around driving age. But I think I might have gotten it before. So, like, I was probably 15 or something. Yeah, like something around
It's
there.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You got one before I did?
Yeah, probably. It was clearly
You're
a mistake.
joking me.
But, okay, all of my friends were older, and they also had phone. Like, I was the last one to get it. But it was like so that I could talk to my friends. And especially because it's not like we were calling each other on the house phone. The landline like we used to have. It wasn't like we were calling and just having long conversations. But if we were ever setting something up, it was always calling the landline. At some point, my mom was just like, you could just have a phone. So that you could just, make your plans
You're so
without
lucky.
tying up the phone
I was
lines.
using the home phone. I was having girls call me on the home phone. I'm like, nobody answer. It's for me. Again. It's for me. And Mom's answering the home phone. I'm on the other side. Mom, get off the phone, please.
I think you must have been a very fun 15, 16-year-old.
Oh, yes, of course.
Your mom's like, here, just stop it. Just
Yes.
take it.
Just please have a phone. Come
Yeah,
on.
please.
All right,
do that.
Here's a question for both of you guys. Is your first phone an actual smartphone? Or
No, the first bigger one would be what is the Razor.
that's what you
yeah.
got? My first phone was a flip phone. It was a track phone.
A what?
The track phone. Like now I consider those seem like those are like the prepaid phones.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like
okay.
if you're doing drug deals or if you're a teenager that your parents want to keep track of.
Dang, that's
all you
crazy.
got?
Mine was the iPhone 6.
Wow.
So that's a pretty big difference from the Razor track phone to my first phone was an iPhone 6.
Yeah,
so.
you did all right.
Yeah, I
Once
did
you
pretty
finally
good.
got one.
At that point, I was like brand new
Maybe-
when I finally got one, so then I felt good about myself.
Maybe your parents were just saving up.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? These iPhones are getting ridiculous, so the
Actually,
iPhone 6 was brand new.
I feel like the better question for everybody is who's still on their family's, your parents' plan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Yes.
Are you?
I am.
That a girl. Come
on.
Hudson.
It's a business
No, I
plan.
have my own plan.
It's a business plan.
I have my own plan. I
Dude,
pay
get
25.
on that.
What do you mean? I pay $25 a month?
Adds up.
You mean your parents could be paying $25
Yeah, I
a month
guess
for
so.
your safety?
You're right. You're right.
Because
I
what
might
if
as
something
well.
happens and you don't have a phone?
Yes, exactly. What if something happens to you, Hudson? You need to get back on that plan.
Well, I wouldn't be able to call my mom either. So, if you want me to keep checking in, Ma.
You need to tell her because she needs to start paying for it.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
You know what else comes out next Friday?
The Batman.
The Batman. How did
Finally.
you know? Was it all over the news or something?
Yeah, everything news-wise in the entertainment side of things is about the Batman.
So I saw this story that Colin Farrell, have you seen? He plays the Penguin in the movie.
Which he does not, it doesn't look like him
It's
at all.
unrecognizable. Actually, I've seen several stories. So one of them was that, of course, he's got a lot of prosthetics and stuff that they put on him. And they said the first time that they got him all done up in the suit and they put all the stuff on his face and whatever, I guess all of the weight in the movie, because he looks much heavier, that's all fake.
It is.
He didn't gain any weight. And so they had him go out and go to Starbucks as the Penguin.
Oh, and no one recognized him?
How could you? He ordered like an oat milk latte or something like that. That doesn't sound like something the Penguin would order.
No.
So he wasn't in character, but he was in the
Costume?
outfit. Yeah. But also, one of the other interesting things is if you know the Penguin, if you know the character from all of his appearances in Batman lore from throughout the years, the Penguin is he's an old school guy. He's from like he looks like he should be from the 1920s. He's got a top hat normally and a monocle and a cane. And he's usually smoking something.
Oh, yeah, he smokes a cigar.
Yeah, but not in this
one?
movie. Nope, they would not.
Not in modern times.
No, you know what? There's some things that even a villain wouldn't do.
Not nowadays.
And that's puff on a cigar.
Actually, it kind of makes sense because if you see, at least for me, sometimes if you're watching a movie and you see, like some movies will put like someone still smoking and it's all in there and it's for the art of it.
Yeah.
But in other ones, when you watch, you're like, aw. Like, don't you know that's bad?
Right.
So for cigars, I bet it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the type of thing where the design of the character in whatever, I mean, I don't know, what is it, the 1950s or 60s when when Batman comics originally started. One, it was a little more goofy, and two, maybe there was still people that dressed in more of that old school style and would smoke and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's more normal.
Like that in the 60s, even though it was still outdated at that time compared to now when you're trying to set the movie in modern day times and make it a little more realistic. There realistically is not anybody with a top hat and monocle smoking a cigar or something.
You just get oat milk and nothing else. You're not getting cigars. So they say that Colin Farrell, was kind of going for the distance to try to get them to say yes to allowing him to have.
Yeah, well, it sounds like he did a lot of research on the character.
Cigars, and he might maybe smoke cigars.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
They said that the studio said no.
Well, they wouldn't want to negatively influence children watching the movie either. Get them into cigars.
What about the violence?
Yeah, right.
I think that's maybe the first part to watch if they're too young.
You know, kids can handle that.
I guess.
They can handle people getting their legs brutally broken and their faces smashed in, but show them a cigar, it might teach them the wrong thing.
I just assume maybe, like back with the other Batman characters for the Penguin, like that's how it was a stress thing. And instead of smoking a cigarette, he's just smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
It is The Riot on RadioU, and we are joined in the studio at this very moment by none other than Outsider Heart.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up? So good to be here.
How are you guys doing?
Doing amazing,
Doing
honestly.
great.
Cannot complain, yeah.
Coffee selection's amazing.
Do you want to go through and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Doug Catula. I do vocals for the band.
And my name's Covey Arsenault. I'm guitar and also vocals in the band.
And my name is Jonah Young. I play bass for the band.
And do you if you guys hop over to Radio U Riot on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, you can see the band and say hi to them. They're getting to use our microphones that have the mics attached to the headphones. So it's like if you were a sports broadcaster or like you're leading a parade or something.
Yeah.
And you like them, or what do you think?
Oh, I love this. I love this. I feel like I should talk about the Titans losing to the Bengals and how this is controversial, but I'm happy the Bengals lost because they beat my team. So sorry, everybody.
Oh, don't bring that to the show.
Yeah, no, that's a bad look for our band. I'm sorry, everybody.
Happened weeks ago. You still can't let it go, can you?
I know. I can't, man. I'm bitter.
So Outsider's Heart is in this morning because you got a brand new song called Monster, which everybody can pre-save now until it's out on March 4th, but you will get to hear that in just a few minutes here on Radio U.
Right. So you guys are a band, so we know you've been doing music stuff, but besides the music, what have you been doing the last
couple of months?
However long?
Gosh.
What is the last interesting thing that happened to you?
Oh man, so we just got back from Nashville, and that was quite an interesting trip. You should probably tell this.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I guess this is music related, but we went to Nashville to play a show on Monday night, and we get there, and it's a 21 plus bar.
Yeah.
And we thought like one of our members that plays guitar for us is actually 18, and we get there, and they're just like, we need to see everyone's ID. And so our guitarist, who's 18, shows him his ID, and he's just like, okay, yeah, this isn't going to work. So we need everyone to everyone get outside. And then the headlining band as well. There's like 2 local bands who brought out people.
Yeah.
We had 12 people there that showed up just for us, which was awesome. We were so excited just to play music for those people. The headlining band also had a member that was under 21. And they were just like, yeah, the show's canceled. We're not doing this. We'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
Literally, we were just like, can we just have our member play and like stay in the car? But they were just so adamant about just making us leave. And it was kind of traumatizing, but it was
we made the most of it.
We had fun. We we hung out with everybody, gave everybody free merch, and just
that's when you're like, well, we're playing this show on the street, so
literally, we were calling around everywhere like we just need outlets to plug into. We called like probably 8 other venues just to try to see if we could get in anywhere just to play. Even people's houses. We were like, is there anyone that wants to put on a house show? Like we'll play in your basement. Like let's do this.
Did you think about just telling your 18-year-old band member just like, sorry, not tonight?
we did think about it. The only problem was that the other band, their drummer was the one.
So a main member.
So it was a little complicated. There was
perfect storm.
Not much around it, unfortunately, but
but I mean, other than that, we've been writing a bunch. We have some really, really exciting stuff coming up. We have our headliner on April 1st that sold out. We're like so just blessed and thankful for that. We're
definitely very excited for that.
And you're going to all be able to play that show?
Yes, we checked with that.
We double checked on that little stipulation there, so we should be all good. So
Outside Our Heart, you guys have for RadioU Ohio. There was the EP release show on April 1st, but that is sold out. You guys need to just keep adding shows and keep selling them out for like that whole weekend.
Oh my gosh, honestly, we didn't expect to sell it out so quickly. Truthfully, it was so exciting that happened.
We've tried. We're trying to get something else going, or maybe a venue upgrade. Not any luck so far, but we'll definitely see what we can do. But
it's very exciting. We're definitely going to put on a very like a real production show. We're going to put a lot of effort into it. It's going to be a night to remember for sure.
So you haven't had a chance to play a ton of shows in a while. It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. We played a few last year. Nashville's supposed to be our first one of the year, but so I guess our first show of the year will just be a sold out headliner, which will also be kind of cool. So,
That's good.
It'll be really fun.
So this is Covey, Doug, and Jonah from Outside Our Heart, which again, in a couple of minutes, you can hear Monster, which is the new song, which you can pre-save starting now you can pre-save it, but then that comes out on March 4th. And then there's a brand new music video starting on RadioU TV today. So when you hear Monster, you can head over there and watch it too.
Yeah, I recommend following you guys on TikTok and Instagram. You're at Outside Our Heart on TikTok, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
What do you think? Like, you guys, it's not like you've been around for a long time, but you've been around long enough to predate TikTok. What do you think adding in TikTok, like, how is that different with connecting with your fans?
At first we were like, what TikTok? Like this, I feel like this is not our thing. I feel like it's a little cheesy, or like
this
was a while ago. I mean, everyone thought that like, it's for like really young people, but then we were like, wait, you can literally post anything and it could do so well in the algorithm, and literally like anything could blow up in it. And I think it's honestly such an amazing thing for artists, because you can literally post like 10 times a day and like no one really cares, because like it's one of those things where it's like your followers are always on the For You page, so it's like it's all about just trying to get new people to see you, and that's what I love about it, because it's not so like you can kind of just be kind of silly on it and do your own thing. It's not like Instagram where it's like, we have to be like super professional and like everything has to be perfect. So TikTok, you can really put your personality into it too.
We've been able to connect and meet so many great bands, from just bands that we would have never found out about, and I think people really like to overthink TikTok. I mean, it's a video share. It's a vertical video sharing platform. It's like you just got to be yourself and have fun with it, like most things. And I think in a few years, everybody will kind of get used to it and get over the cheesy aspect. I mean, it's not all dancing.
Fun, because a lot of times bands relied on Facebook for so long, and now for Facebook, like if you want anything of yours to push, like you have to pay them. So it's hard to get the support from your fan base. And then when everybody moved to Instagram, it was like, well, you posted more than once a day, we can't follow you anymore.
I know.
It was really hard. And so with TikTok, so you can follow Outside Our Heart at Outside Our Heart, and then of course RadioU official for TikTok too. We just have so much fun with it, so it's nice to be able to experience bands in a more fun platform.
Absolutely. And like things are constantly changing and evolving. Like who knows, like the next app that's going to come out be kind of similar, you know, like
Right.
because we had Vine there for a second too, which kind of died off. And
Rest in peace.
It's fine.
Well, did you jump back on when it came back and then it went
Is it
away?
back?
Well, it came back like maybe a year or so ago,
Oh, okay.
but
I
it
didn't know
died
that.
right away. So
shoot.
it
Yeah,
just
when that
can't.
whole era happened, we were probably about 12 or 13 years old.
You were perfect for Vine.
yeah, right.
No, literally.
So funny.
Oh, well, we're super excited for the new song Monster. Again, that starts on RadioU today, and then pre-save the song so you're
Yes.
all good. And then is April 1st when the EP comes out, or when is it going to be out?
Yeah, so it'll be like Thursday at midnight. So like as soon as it turns April 1st, happy April Fool's Day. The EP will be out. Actually, we're just kind of kidding about that.
Sure.
There's no headliner. There's also no EP. It's all gonna be a joke.
Are we a part of one big giant joke?
You know, this is all
Essentially.
just like a huge scam. I'm kidding now. But,
This is
No, 'cause
3D chess right here.
We have the new song, so there's no lying on that.
but yeah, no, the whole EP drops that day, and then we're gonna do the headliner. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be.
very excited for you guys to hear the new songs. And
We want to play it now?
Yeah, let's do
Well,
the
thank
new
you guys
song.
for coming in. We're so
Thank you so much.
excited.
Appreciate you guys.
And
And
It's
of
so
course,
fun.
follow Outside Our Heart on TikTok to help them get even more there.
Yeah,
And
boost them in the algorithm.
Exactly.
let's go. Interact
Get
with
on
the
the For You
post.
page. And then if you follow the links too, you'll see the pre-save for Monster, which we're going to play now.
It's Outsider Hearts.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
It is the riot.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the riot for free? Radio U.
Ray Byler. He's 20 years old, Jefferson County, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. He is facing a misdemeanor charge, driving under the influence.
Oh, a DUI?
Yeah, DUI.
Uh-oh.
Here's what's unique about. I mean, one, he's 20 years old, so he's too young to drink no matter what. But two, he was driving an Amish horse and buggy.
Is he Amish or did he steal it?
You know what? That actually isn't covered, is it? They don't say outright. They don't say anything about him stealing it.
Sure.
But
They say the buggy driver.
I didn't know that. Like you wouldn't expect really an Amish person to be drinking at all, would you?
Now, hang on, though, because I watched one time some documentary. And it's not like they have that thing where they get to
Rumspringa.
decide if they want to.
Yeah.
But I think that they're a little bit more fun and fancy.
What are you accusing the
I
Amish
don't know.
of?
I think we have a perception of Amish.
Yeah.
And maybe like older Amish.
Just because
but-
they're not allowed to have phones doesn't mean they're not allowed to drink.
Well, I
Maybe.
just think there's probably different. Like we
There's
just
different
don't know.
levels of Amish.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
there
I guess,
is.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Ray Byler,
So to him at 20, he's probably like, but he's not under our same. Is he under our same laws as like 21?
yeah, I get maybe maybe they're allowed to have their own. I don't know. But what I do know is that no matter what the laws are, the law is
you're on the
definitely
road.
that you can't be driving under the influence. So the police say they saw him. They were following the horse and buggy. They watched it speed up going around a turn. And then as it was going around the turn, the guy locked the brakes and slid the wheels,
On the
sending
buggy?
sparks flying.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't know that was possible.
I guess.
And so at that point, the police, he pulled over so they could pass, and they asked, "Are you doing okay?" And he responded with slurred speech. So that is what gave him away. The sparks flying from the wheels of a horse and buggy.
Apparently, that's not enough.
They were going to let that slide. But when he responded with slurred speech, that's when they decided to check in with him and do a field sobriety test, which he did not pass. They said he smelled of alcohol. He said he had a couple of beers. And they wound up charging him then with the driving under the influence. They said also that the horse was a little spooked. So he had to stay by the horse's side until a family member could come and take care of the horses before they could book him, I guess.
Well, they were trying to do the field sobriety test.
Yeah.
And they couldn't because the horse had such a problem with it.
Yeah.
So he had to go to the hospital once the horse was taken home for a blood test to figure out what his alcohol level was.
Yeah.
And they said that the guy refused.
And he
But-
refused. So I didn't. Okay, here's what I'm wondering. When you're operating a horse and buggy, is that really driving?
It is. I think it still counts.
Well, how is
'Cause
that
the
driving?
the buggy part. It's more driving than I think we're doing.
What do you mean?
It's driving a horse.
It's steering. It's not. Is it driving?
It is.
I don't know. I think we
know.
gotta look up the definition of drive. I think he could get off on a technicality.
Maybe. But
Also, they never were able to find out if he really was drunk technically. So
I wanted to point out because this is in Pennsylvania, and on Monday I won't be here for the show. I'm going to Pennsylvania.
Oh no! Watch out.
Am I going to help him, or I'm going to go see how the horse is?
You can tell him I will. I don't know if I want to tie myself to him, but I will. I've got a few defense options for him.
He's looking for him.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but was he really driving? We have to ask ourselves.
I'm sure they've dealt with that maybe before, so they know the police.
Who knew that an Amish DUI on a horse and buggy was possible? But it is.
It is, and yes, I will not be here on Monday. So Hudson and Isaiah will be doing the show, and I will be in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, don't get pulled over.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
You guys know Austin Cindric, right?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Daytona 500 champion.
Big Austin guy.
Hang on, I'm not looking it up.
Yeah.
Who is it?
He's a Daytona 500 champion.
He's a race car driver.
Right, NASCAR. Yeah.
NASCAR.
Now we're talking.
He won the Daytona 500. He actually just became the third youngest winner of the Daytona 500 ever. He won on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was not just his first Daytona 500 win. It was his first NASCAR race win ever.
How old is he?
I don't know.
See, that's what I was trying to find.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
not
see
actually
the
included.
age of this guy.
Well, I can tell you he's under 30 because his name is Austin. So, can you imagine one day people are going to have a Grandpa Austin?
No.
That's gonna be
23.
weird.
Dang, we're the same
23.
age. He's accomplished so much more than me.
Oh,
I was
you
gonna
could be a NASCAR driver.
I
could-
mean,
you
I
totally
technically could be, I guess.
If your car wouldn't go into park.
Do I have the skill sets? No.
Does your dad?
My dad, yes.
Let's call on him
You
to
could
do
be your
that.
pit chief or whatever they call it.
Literally.
If he
So-
runs your driving thing.
I know. So none of us watched the Daytona 500, but lots of people did. It actually had higher ratings than the NBA All-Star Game last Sunday.
And the Olympics.
Our show gets more than the Olympics.
Yeah.
That was
So-
a lot less than they anticipated for this season.
when Austin Cindric won his first ever NASCAR race, the Daytona 500 on Sunday, you want to know how he celebrated? Or how would you expect somebody who won the NASCAR race, especially the
Milk
Daytona
and
500?
Disney.
So yeah, that's what
No,
you think
Milk
of.
is Indy 500.
Oh,
That's
is
what you
it?
think of for the races, though. A lot of big celebration there. I don't know, like I could see him like a bottle of champagne or something, you know, jumping out of his car, doing donuts.
Well,
They do like the donuts
of
and
course,
stuff.
that's obvious. But what about after you leave? You just go home to bed? What do you do after the Daytona 500 win?
Actually, I would just go on vacation because I'm sure, is that the end of the season?
No, it's the
or-
first race of the season.
Okay, never mind.
Well,
You
you know,
hate
prep for
NASCAR,
next
Nikki.
week.
You're a NASCAR hater.
No,
I'm
it's
not
just
a
that
hater, but I would go on a break.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you do?
He, see, I don't know if this is normal. I don't think it is. He went to Steak and Shake
Oh, for food?
with his dad.
in his
And
his
the rest of it,
NASCAR?
and a bunch of other crews. Yeah, I don't know if he drove. Maybe he's sponsored by Steak and Shake. No, it's not on his uniform. He went to Steak and Shake with his dad and a bunch of other folks.
Aw.
And they closed down Steak and Shake. He said they were there. I don't know what time they got there, but they were there till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Steak and Shake closed at midnight. And
I thought you meant
let
they
'em
ate so much, like they closed
closed it down.
Well, they did. They shut it down like you shut down the bar,
Sure.
like where you're the last person.
Oh
the
my
bartenders have
gosh.
to kick you out. A Steak and Shake let him stay, I guess, because he just won the Daytona 500. But he was saying he was surprised that he always thought that they were always open.
Yeah.
And so he was very surprised at when midnight rolled around. And they were like, hey, we're closing down. And he's like, but I don't want to leave. I'm having so much fun.
At Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess I was not expecting for you win a NASCAR race or any, major sporting event that you celebrate by going to Steak and Shake. I
Well, he
thought it'd be a
seems-
little higher brow than that, but I don't know. Maybe that's just the NASCAR crowd.
Listen, he seems like an everyday man then. Like, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I bet like all the cooks and stuff were probably pretty upset. If I was sitting back there like cooking up the hamburgers and they were like, Austin Cindric's out there, we got to stay open. I'd be like, I don't care who's out there. And I definitely don't care about who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know him, so.
I know. I assumed the one near us. Like, I guess I thought the insides closed down a long time ago and you could only go through the drive-thru.
Drive-thru, yeah.
I was going to say, he's lucky he found a Steak and Shake open at all, but back in the day, they would be open, I think, 24
hours, yeah.
But they just can't find enough people to work. So he's lucky he had one that was open at all on the inside.
Well, maybe they need to call on NASCAR fans.
I think the last Steak and Shake I went to, they had the inside closed. You couldn't even go to the bathroom. They had
really?
a tarp, and it wasn't because they were doing construction. It's just like, we don't want you in here.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just a
lucky
no.
we have any food whatsoever.
Well,
so
congratulations
what a way
to
to celebrate.
Austin Cindric for winning on Sunday, and way to be the man that celebrated by going to Steak and Shake after.
Yeah, Steak and Shake really loves the advertisement.
Oh, dude, they're so excited.
Although
Even though
their
at
employees
first,
don't.
it does feel like a sponsorship.
It does, definitely.
Nope,
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to Steak and Shake.
I wonder if maybe there is something, or maybe they'll become a sponsorship because of
right.
this.
They got to get a big sticker right across his windshield.
Because he closed it down and he said, quote, they killed the hamburgers there. And the milkshakes.
Yeah.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
You didn't go to culinary school, did you?
No, I like to cook and bake. But when I look back at like what I create or what I cook now, I more assemble.
Yeah.
So it's not anything like
Follow directions.
Pretty much. I'm not, coming up with my own things. I don't think I would be a very good cook, but it's fun to do every so often.
So how do you think you would do on, say, Masterchef?
Oh, not good at all. I
Not
also
good?
don't like being yelled at. I don't like being watched or judged.
Yeah.
So emotionally, I can't handle that.
Anything with Gordon Ramsay probably wouldn't work well for you.
I'd start crying, or I would just go right at him.
Yeah, it's amazing if you watch Kitchen Nightmare or like anything where Gordon Ramsay or I like Robert Irvine on the Food Network where they're yelling at people and somehow they're so angry and yet the people always seem to figure it out. Like almost all the time, they still seem to respond to that to the yelling.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Maybe
that
that's
is.
editing. And you don't
think?
see the crying.
The producers make sure that they come around one way or another.
They do.
So I have a new survey here that finds that about 60%, 63% to be exact, of people think that they could go toe-to-toe on a Masterchef type show against real professional cooks. Which they think they would do fine.
That's a higher percentage than I thought you would say.
Yeah, isn't that a lot? Let's see. 3 in 10 think they would make it to mid-season if you're in a show like that.
Yeah.
27% say they would be the first to go, like you. Wouldn't even last. 5%.
No, okay, wait, hang on. Did I say I wouldn't last?
You said you wouldn't respond well to the yelling.
I wouldn't. So unless
and
I
you
get
couldn't come
kicked
up with your own
off.
ideas.
Okay, but I'd be fine. I don't want you to say that.
So you'd make it to mid-season.
I want you to say that. Of course you'd make it to the end.
I don't know. You've never cooked for me.
Well, I'm not planning on it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. But in Hudson's mind, I'm out first episode.
5% think that they could make it all the way to the end and actually be chanced, which I guess that feels about right. 5% of people. You know what I don't like about the cooking competition shows, and I guess they have to do this, but why they always have like, you can't just cook something.
It's drama.
It's you can't just follow a recipe, which is more realistic. It's always you have to come up with a recipe on your own in like 30 minutes. And then, like, to take it to another level, if it's MasterChef or Chopped, it's like, and you have to use the secret ingredients, and it's a watermelon, paprika, and an old shoe, and you have to come up with an ingredient. And like, who can actually? And then they supposedly just do it all on the spot. Who can do that on the spot? And what scenario besides a cooking show is that where you have? Is that what you have to do as a cook?
Well, they have to make a show out of it.
Yeah,
so it
I
has
guess
to have
so.
something.
There has to be some drama.
We're not cooks, so we don't know.
How will they incorporate the old shoe to the meal?
I mean, I would serve it in the shoe. So
yeah, there you go.
I could do that.
It's just the zest of the shoe.
You just take a little bit of the soul from it.
Yeah,
so.
right. It was boiled in shoe water. That's how.
I think instead of the Gordon Ramsay guy, I want to be on like the British Bake Off or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, there's different types of food. I mean, anybody could be on whether it's Masterchef or Chopped, like one of the good ones, or you could be on the worst cooks in America. Like there's a show for every kind of cook.
If I'm going to break down and cry and have problems, I want to do that in a nice tent.
Yeah, there you go. They also say real quick that 77% say cooking is one of their favorite things to do, but 2 in 3 believe that they could open their own restaurant. And I want to say that's accurate.
Yeah.
Actually, 100% of people could open their own restaurant. I've watched enough cooking shows to know anybody can open a restaurant. Not everybody can keep a restaurant open.
That's different.
That's the problem.
Which is why you need someone screaming and yelling at you to motivate you to make your restaurant work.
Gordon Ramsay to lend a helping hand.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. RadioU.
Got a money-making opportunity for one of the three of us. Whoever wants to dive into this one. A pet food company in the UK. They're called Omni. They specialize in plant-based dog food.
Okay.
They are looking for somebody. They will pay up to, it's conversion, but over 6,000 American dollars they will pay for you to feed your dog these plant-based pet food for 2 months and keep track of its poop.
For the $6,000? For
$6,000.
How do we keep track? Are we looking?
Like, am I collecting poop?
Well, you're supposed to.
Do you mail it in?
You're supposed to. I don't know if you keep a diary exactly, but they want you to report back on the frequency of their bowel movements, their poop odor, energy levels, the dog behavior, their sleep patterns, their weight, and their fur condition.
So basically the general health of your dog they're testing to see how this food helps or hurts the dog.
Yeah. So who's in?
I think this feels like you, Isaiah. You want this?
I think that I could do this, but they would never pick me. There's no chance. Because my reports would be so bad. I'd be like, well, the poop stinks so bad. Like, no matter what, there's no way that this food is going to make it smell any better.
You make a little daily diary and you're like, fine, typical, not bad, typical,
average.
No change. You can lie through this.
And then they're going to smell it and be like, oh my gosh, this is what it smelled like the whole time? I'm like, yeah, it's just another day for Jim. It always smells
You're
like.
thinking about this all wrong. Maybe, I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Would they want a pungent
food.
smell, Would they want that? They would not want that.
They just want to see, because then if your dog does really well with it, they want to say, oh,
then they can
Jim
put that on the
uses
packaging.
It, and look how great he's doing.
And here's a picture of his poop. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful
Incredible.
poop? And you can't smell it, but it smells much better.
So if you're the winning applicant, you'll get paid $6,685. 2 months you need to report on the effects of the food on your animal. And it doesn't say, though, like, do they provide the food? Because that, I think, could be expensive.
I would think, right? Or maybe that's included in the $6,600 whatever dollars.
Sometimes there's a catch with these. We're going to pay you for this small amount of time for this work. So you just want to make sure I'm not paying for the food.
No chance you can pay for the food.
Here's something I hate. The CEO, like he's, the co-founder, his name is Shiv Sivakumar. And one of the things he says, like, to kind of build this up and build up the food is, he said, we are getting feedback that people who have switched to this food, their dog stools have improved in terms of color, consistency, and smell.
Yuck.
Who's reporting that?
Well,
you feed the dog the Omni for a little while, you call him up on the phone. Hey, customer service, just wanted to let you know.
It's going well.
Man, my dog's poop smell a whole lot better. Thanks for all that you do.
It could be
Nobody's
maybe
doing that?
they have other people testing the food, but they're not paying them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's what they...
I wanted to try the exact opposite of the plant-based food. I wanted to see, because everybody always says if your dog does the, all meat and it's like uncooked and stuff, or whatever you call that sort of style. I've been looking into that, but that seems like a lot of work.
That feels very expensive too.
Just the whole money thing. Like, I could feed Jim anything and he would not care. Like, it doesn't matter if I fed him only carrots. I swear the dog would live no matter what. There's no way. There's no way. That's why I think that I actually could be a good applicant, because even if their dog food was like toxic to dogs, there's no way it's killing
Jim's
Jim.
good.
It's 0% chance it kills
I love
that
that
dog.
nothing phases him.
Nothing
that wouldn't
phases
be
that
good.
dog.
because then they could be feeding toxic food to every other dog, and it'd
You're
be like,
right.
well, it was fine for Jim.
It worked for him. You're like,
Yeah.
well, we don't even know what that thing is.
Jim's an exception to everything.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not even. You know what? Also, I'm not feeding my dog based off of what its poop looks like. You know, like that
don't
doesn't
even wanna
factor
look.
in. It's not like there's going to be a poop that comes out of my dog, and I'm going to be like, finally, like this is optimal right here.
He's healthy.
This is the food. I'm sticking with this food because this is a great poop.
So the group Omni is a British company, so I'm not sure like if you have to be like if it's worldwide being offered for someone. But if you want to try to apply, it's through the company's website through March 31st.
All right. Well, I mean, all that being said, I'll take the $6,000 and just make up something.
I'll be a consultant. I'll be happy to.
Sure, yeah.
And again, just make your diary out and say like everything's fine.
Yeah.
Looks good today.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.